Welcome everybody to our State of the Community Breakfast. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Community Trust Bank and the Frankfort Plant Board and our Government Affairs Committee and to KSU for hosting us again this year. Thank you to our media partners, State Journal, Frankfort Plant Board, and Seven Mountains Media. Now I'd like to introduce Mary Latek she's the advertising director of the State Journal, and we're going to do the presentation of the State Journal Resilience Award.
Thanks, Tish. Good morning, everyone. I'm here to present the State Journal Resilience Award. The dictionary defines resilience as the capacity to withstand or to recover quickly from difficulties, or in a single word, toughness. Your hometown newspaper has certainly been resilient, marking 123 years of continuous publication this year. The State Journal is proud to sponsor this annual award and put the spotlight on local businesses that have their own stories of resilience. With that being said, Whitehead Hancock Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling is the clear winner of the 2025 State Journal Resilience Award. Joe Hancock, would you please come forward? If you'd like to hear more about our award winner, please see the Frankfort Focus magazines on your table. Joe, would you like to say a few words?
No, just thank you very much.
If you want to stand between us, Joe,
Okay.
Mary, we're going to come right out here.
Let me put this down so it doesn't fall.
Come this way, just a bit.
Slide this way.
Yep, if you want to. All right,
Thank
Joe,
you.
Congratulations. Let's give him a hand. Okay, is Annabeth Bobbitt here? Annabeth, would you come up here, please? So Annabeth was our 2024 board chair. We thrived under her leadership, and we just want to say thank you to our board chair who took us from where we were to where we are now. And we had a stellar year this year, and last year we had a stellar year. But I want to thank Annabeth Bobbitt for all of her leadership for last year and for her leadership for the last 6 years. So thank you so much. We'll get a picture after. Oh, stay up here. So now we have a couple retiring board members that we're going to give. So is Jonathan Vaught here? Jonathan Vaught and John Graham, would you please come forward? So we want to thank these two gentlemen for being on our board. They're retiring off, but we're not letting them go away. I think they're both going to stay on our Government Affairs Committee, yes?
Yes, ma'am, whatever you tell me.
I just get it on camera so that we can say, yes, you're staying on our Government Affairs. Our Government Affairs Committee is who puts these events on. So we want to thank both of these. John was our 2023 board chair. So please give these gentlemen a hand because we can't do what we do without all of our board folks. So we appreciate everybody who stepped on our board. Thank you. We'll get pictures after. No, thank you. Okay, now I'm going to invite up Kathy Lindsay to say a few words. Kathy is one of our sponsors today.
They gave me my own microphone, so I'm very excited. First of all, I'd like to welcome everybody here. I know I'm from the Frankfort Plant Board, obviously. I'm Kathy Lindsay, Director of Marketing and Communications. First, I'd like to recognize we have two board members here, John Cubine and Steve Mason. They're in the back, so can you hear me in the back? And then I would also like to recognize, I haven't had the chance to see everybody that's here, but I know we have a lot of elected officials here today, and I would just like to recognize you. So if you are an elected official here in our community, would you stand up? Thank you, guys. And again, one reason that we do the State of the Community is so that people here in our community can hear from our leaders We can hear about what's going on in our community, and just gives you the opportunity to maybe catch them after the breakfast if there's anything you want to know and things going on. And we'll also have a Q&A time when everybody gets done speaking. Enough of that. I'm going to get on talking about the plant board real quick because that's why I'm here. So before I get started, another thing, this is going to be interactive. So if you are a customer of the plant board, will you raise your hand? Hey, all right, I like that. Thank you for your loyalty. We love our loyal customers. In case you don't know it, the Frankfort Plant Board is your community-owned municipal utility. We're a nonprofit utility delivering essential services of electric, water, cable, internet, community TV, and more. We've been doing this for over 80 years. We're not just a utility company, but we're your neighbors. We're available 24/7. We make decisions, and everything is based right here in Frankfort. So we're very proud of that. We have a direct community impact because we're powering local economic growth by employing 212 employees. We return over $1 million to local vendors. And last year, we remitted more than $301,000 in occupational taxes last year. Local flexibility, reliability, quality service are major advantages for the community in attracting and retaining commercial and industrial customers. And we like that, right? So we serve as a key strategic partner for our local community's economic development and recruitment offices. We own, maintain, and operate critical public infrastructure, and we provide critical services to all of our citizens just to provide for their basic needs. So we feel like that's pretty important, and I'm proud of all the employees at the Frankfort Plant Board. In addition to all of these services, which are just basic needs, we also provide in-kind community services. And that means that can be anything from the free community Wi-Fi zones, water fountains in the parks, sewer billing on behalf of the city, network infrastructure and community event coverage for the city, for the fiscal court, for our city and county schools. We decorate the state Christmas tree. We hang lights downtown. We change ball field lights at the schools and the parks. We hang banners and flags for the schools and the museums. We provide the Frankfort on Tap water monsters. I'm sure a lot of y'all have used that at some of your events. And those are just to name a few of the things that we are doing here in our community just to be part of the community and help serve all of our customers. We do have a community connection because we have live coverage of local events. We do government meetings, high school sports, and that's another in-kind service that we provide. We do student scholarships and educational support. We have Around 10, which is Frankfort's only live morning show featuring local voices. It's on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10 o'clock. More interactive. Raise your hand if you've ever been on Around 10. Hey! So, raise your hand if you want to be on Around 10. Okay, well, I have cards, so come see me after. We'd love to have you on to talk about the things that you're doing here in our community. If you're having an event, if you just want somebody to know more about your organization, that's what we're here to do. So we're happy to talk about local programming with you. We have partnerships. We build on our partnerships. We have partnerships with the schools, city and local government, the chamber, Capital City Museum. I saw Dr. Ellie here somewhere. Hey, DFI, tourism, employers here in town, and a lot of the civic organizations. So we love our partnerships. One thing I do want to announce is that our clubhouse has been reopened. We did a renovation of the clubhouse, and well, here's another question for you. If you've ever partied at the clubhouse, raise your hand. Okay, there are many, I know it goes back. There's been many a party at the clubhouse back in the day. And yeah, Kathy Jennings is in charge of the clubhouse. She says, no parties. But it's open, and it's available for rent. You can just contact Kathy Jennings right there in the green sweater. So we're happy to have that available to our community again. It's very sentimental, I think, to our community. We have some innovation in action. We have new things going on. I know we've been talking about Nextband for a long time. That's our fiber service. It's bringing gigabit speeds. We have more than 90% of our service area accessible to that now, with plans to reach all. We're excited about some new features we're going to have. We're going to be launching them in the spring, so keep an eye out for that. It's going to be better tailor things to your needs. I wasn't even looking at you, I'm sorry. Two more things. We have Nextband Stream, which is our cable TV reimagined. They say cable's going out. Just kidding. But there's things on your table to talk about that. Lastly, we're your community utility. We're committed to continuous improvement and putting ratepayers first every day. Every decision we make, every service we provide is focused on assuring reliable services at the most affordable cost and fiscal responsibility. One goal in mind is improving quality of life in Frankfort for our customers and in the future. So thank you guys. We appreciate your customer loyalty and look forward to great new things in the future. I'm still next. What? Oh, yeah. I'm not next. Miranda Penn is here from Community Trust Bank. They are our co-sponsors for this event, and she probably is not going to go over her time like I did, but she might. Let's see. Bring her on up here. Miranda.
Thank you for allowing me to borrow your microphone for a moment. I promise to give it back. My name is Miranda Penn, and I am here with Community Trust Bank. Today is the 228th day of January 2025, and I want to thank you all for choosing to spend your morning with us. It's an honor to be a major sponsor of the State of the Community address. This is my favorite chamber event because I think it's very engaging and informative, and I think the size of the crowd here this morning shows our level of engagement as a community. I want to say thank you to Tish and the Frankfort Area Chamber staff for putting this all together. I want to say thank you to Dr. Acapo for your hospitality and for allowing us to use this beautiful venue once again. And I want to say thank you to all the members of the panel that will speak with us today. Thank you for your willingness to come here and be transparent. Thank you.
Okay. Ditto. All right. We're going to move on with the program. I'm going to ask our speakers to come sit up front because we're all very excited to hear from you. While they're making their way up here, I'd like to thank the Government Affairs Committee, the members. I'm going to say your name. You stand up, we'll give you a clap. Christine Cartwright, Karen Wheeler, John Graham, Jonathan Vaught, Holly Spade, Ryan Newcomb, Tom Smith, Greg Burton, Charles Boo, Terry Bradshaw, Birch Bragg, and J.C. Young. Let's give them a hand. And you'll notice that is a large committee because that's how important this committee is and really how the chamber focuses on advocacy for our businesses. And I'd just like to thank all the work that they do. This is one event that we have in addition to we do the chamber forums, and we'll be doing a breakfast with the legislators, I believe on February 14th. I'm sure you'll be hearing more information about that. You're invited to that, and that'll be at the annex. Okay, it looks like we're ready. Oh, and Tish doesn't need to mention there's paper on your tables for questions. We can hear what these fine people have to say, and then if you have any questions, go on and write those down, and somebody will come around and pick those up at some point.
My team will pick those up when I start talking. My team will pick them up.
Okay, once Tish starts talking here in a little bit, people will come around and pick those up. All right, we're going to get started with our speakers. We're going to change it up a little bit this year. And I would like to bring up first kind of our host for where we are today at Kentucky State University, Dr. Kofi Akabo. He is serving as the 19th president of the Kentucky State University.
That's right.
That's right, I got you. He's been here since 2023. And he previously was the president and chief executive officer of Bluegrass Community and Technical College. So let's welcome Dr. Capo.
Tell him about the time.
Oh, you have 5 minutes. No, you have 8 to 10 minutes. Sorry.
He heard 18.
Good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
Well, Ms. Shade, I don't agree with you. You gave a plain board 32 minutes. I was counting. You gave plain board 32 minutes.
She took 13.
Well, good morning. It's always a pleasure to see our great community. I love it every time I have a full room. So thank you so much for being here this morning. It's always a pleasure to see many of you. And I will begin by thanking the community. I cannot ask for a better place to be at this time in my life. Kentucky State University is a great place, but we're blessed to have a community like you. I mean it, because I can grab the phone and call the mayor and say I need help. And the first thing that comes out of his mouth is, yes, I will get you the help. We all know the snowstorm that we had. I quickly found out that we only had 2 scrapers, and one broke down when the snow hit. So only one to plow all this campus. And things were getting behind. So I grabbed the phone and called Mr. Mayor. I need help, sir. He said, you have it. So that's how blessed we are. You all, in some capacity, have been there for Kentucky State University. And on behalf of the university, I stand here thanking you all. We need everybody's help. And I can also tell you, Kentucky State University is thriving. We're making progress. I wish, I like to go 1,000 miles per hour, but sometimes it just doesn't happen. But we're making steady progress. So enrollment as of this morning is up 27% compared to last year. Thank you. So my goal is for this fall we reach 3,000 at least. That's what I wanted for last fall, but it did not materialize. But I think God knew everything that we don't know. If we got 3,000 last fall, we would have been in trouble because our dorms are not in a good shape. So thanks to our legislators, we are fixing them. So I took one offline a month as soon as I came on campus last year, because the condition was deplorable. So it's about to reopen. And I'll be sending an invitation to all of you to come join me as we reopen that dorm. So as soon as that one is reopened, there is one here, Chandler. I don't want to say anything about it. So that one is going to be taken offline, and we're going to redo it completely, gut it, and repair the interior and redo the exterior as well, and make it decent for students to come in. And that will take, I believe, the next 6 to 7 months. My hope is we can open it for fall. And the next project is once we open that, we take over Kentucky. That's another one that needs desperate help. So the state has been good to us. So we're going to fix all these ones on this side of campus, and hopefully for the next biennium, I'm hoping they will help us fix 2 on the south side of campus, because they also are not in a good shape. So things are moving along. As you might see, it's like a construction site. So we are redoing our library as well, because I came here and found a library that is still like 1981. Thousands of books. We have 350,000 books. Students don't go to books anymore. They go to the toy. Everything is online for them. So we're renovating the library to make it a 21st century library. where students want to go, study, and do research. So the next project we're working on is, I don't know if some of you may know, our Carver building. It's going to be our engineering building. The state also gave us money to redo it and make it a true engineering building. So we're working on that as we speak. I believe the bid will go out sometime this spring, and hopefully the construction will begin this year on that building as well. So as you may see, things are happening. Not fast enough for someone like me, but I'll bet they're happening. So I'm so grateful to our elected officials for that support. We also are looking at our academic offering. Gone are days where we just train them and expect them to get a job. So we're embracing STEM. Some of my faculty always remind me that we need to keep the liberal arts portion of the university. We will keep the liberal arts portion of the university, but we have to embrace STEM. It's just, we have no choice. So we got approval to start 2 new engineering programs this year. Manufacturing engineering and manufacturing engineering technology. So the plan is to add 1 more this coming fall, which will be civil engineering. And my goal is over the next 3 years to add mechanical and electrical engineering. I forgot we got approval for agricultural, biological engineering as well. Since we are a land-grant institution, we need to embrace the big part of our mission. We're in the process of seeking the approval of the states to start a PhD in agroecology, because we do a good job, and we all know global warming or climate change, the way you want to call it, is here. The rains are getting more and more unreliable. And how do we train our future researchers on resilience? How can we survive in the face of this natural adversity? So KSU want to be ahead, and we made the request to the state CP. So it's been reviewed, and my hope is we get that added to our offering soon. It's a program that's not going to cost the state anything. It's going to be funded by our land-grant federal funding, and we also have scholarship to help students who want to matriculate through the program. So my hope is we get that started this fall as well. We also have come up with a new strategic plan, and the number 1 pillar of the plan is promote affordable quality education. So how do we make it affordable? We all in the room, this room pretty much have gone to college or have sent children to college. It's getting pricier and pricier. But KSU want to make sure we still make it attainable for students. So we have done so many things. I hope I'm doing well on time. 2 minutes? I still need 15 more minutes. Well, I'll be quick. So we have, the first thing I did when I came on board was to sign an MOU with our Kentucky Community and Technical College system. So what this entails is any student graduating from any of our 16 colleges wanting to come to KSU will come to KSU at an affordable rate. If the student is Pell eligible, the student will come to KSU and complete the last 2 years tuition free. I say it again. If the student has a Pell, is Pell eligible, and has a 2.5 GPA, it comes to transfer to KSU, it's a tuition free. However, if the student is not Pell eligible, oh Jesus. If the student is not Pell eligible, the person can still come to KSU but pay KCTCS tuition. One other thing that we're trying to do to make it affordable for students in our Commonwealth is if you are a high school senior in Kentucky and you have a 2.5 GPA and you are on a free and reduced lunch, you come to KSU again, tuition free. Oh, Jesus. It's not fair. Okay, one last one, and then I will get out of the way. As our nursing program continue to grow and still continue to be strong, very strong. But one great thing with that program is we have been working with a CHI, UK Healthcare, and Norton. So a student coming to KSU for nursing study can get CHI scholarship, $10,000 a year for 4 years, and after graduation will get a job with CHI. UK Healthcare will pay $6,500 for the student. Upon graduation, the student will go work for UK. Norton will pay up to $45,000, and the student will work for them for 5 years and will be free from any obligation. I wish I can go on and on. I have like a thing prepared for 35 minutes, but Ms. Shade will not be nice to me. So again, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate all of you.
Say, if the man's going to talk about letting kids go to school for free, let him talk. Thank you so much for that. And the work that you all do here in our community is so important, and we appreciate all the opportunities you're given to our kids here in town. Next, I'm going to bring up Franklin County Superintendent Mark Kopp. He has been in his position for 7.5 years, and before that, he came to us from Hardin County Schools. So we're so glad to have him here in Franklin County, and I'd like to bring him up, Mark Kopp.
Hello everyone, this is Superintendent Kopp. There will be no school today, Tuesday. Oh wait a minute. Hold on a minute. I'm just used to saying that recently. Sorry about that. I will come back to that point, but first I wanted to mention, I'm going to take up a little bit of my time and say that Michael and Lane have offered to sing a duet when they come up. So, it's only fitting that Sherry and I offered to do the same thing. But I am not in her class as a singer or a rapper at all. So, really, really thankful to be here with you all today. Getting back to the Snowmageddon that we've had and the Ice-mageddon, I wanted to shout out the Franklin County Roads Department under the direction of Michael Mueller. I'll tell you what, they're amazing at what they do. And if you all don't understand how blessed we are to have a road department that does the work that they do, go to Lexington and see what happened over there. No offense to Lexington or anyone else in Fayette County, but our road department is top notch. So thank you for that. Absolutely. This is my 8th year doing this job, and every year gets better and better. And we have so much to be thankful for, and so many exciting things to talk about. A few years back, we eschewed the mission and vision work that most organizations do, and we instead elected to craft a promise statement. And that promise statement is very simply, every student succeeds. And everything that we do as a school district works toward that promise. So everything I talk about today is going to kind of talk about that promise statement in some way, shape, or form. Numbers-wise, just so you all know, we have 1,100 employees, we have 6,500 students, and it's a very large organization, and we're blessed to have some amazing talent in our organization. In addition to that, we have a lot of collaborations, and I think Dr. Capo mentioned some of the things that all of us do together. All of us work together on this stage. Dr. Satterley and myself are friends, and we work together. We're going to be competitive. That's part of life. But at the same time, they're all our kids, and we're going to do everything we can to make sure that every student succeeds, not just the students in Franklin County schools. We have a partnership with the Franklin County Sheriff's Department that I would really love to shout out. They provide us with 13 school resource officers that work in our district to secure the safety of our staff and students. And Sheriff Quire has been such a strong partner, and I really appreciate that partnership as well. I want to talk about growth. Growth, when I first came here, it was a word that when you mentioned it, some people kind of went, ooh, well, we don't want to grow. We like it the way it is. Folks, growth is good. It's like when that movie, Greed is good. Greed isn't good, but growth is good. Growth is great for our community. The growth that we see right now behind the leadership of Lane and Dr. Capo and Sherry and Michael, the growth that they're bringing into this community with businesses, that's only going to help us. This past Saturday morning, I went to First Watch for breakfast, and they had a soft opening that provided some, it was a fundraiser for Western Hills Athletics. To have First Watch in our community, how big is that? That is so great. So we're so very excited. And we're seeing that in our school district. We have record enrollment in our school district. We've had an incredible influx of all students. We've had a very large influx of students with special needs. We've had a very large influx of students from other communities. And they're starting to see the things that we offer that other places just can't. And for that, we're so thankful. We love every single one of our students. Every year in our school district, we focus on a word. That word this year is the word yes. Our job in education is to try to find a way to say yes. It is not just to blindly say no. So everything that we do and everything I'm going to talk about is trying to find a way to say yes. And I'm blessed to work for a Board of Education. Jennifer Cantor, our board chair, is here today. Any other board members here? I don't know if I saw any of them, but I did see our board chair. That really supports student growth and really supports opportunities for our students. Some of the things that I'll talk about in terms of this growth. Thank you, 5 minutes left. Sweet, I'm doing great. And I haven't even started singing yet. We have opportunities for students that are unmatched in this area. We have a CTC, a Career Tech Center, that offers programs in traditional trades like carpentry and welding and auto mechanics, but also offers an engineering pathway, an education pathway, and brand new this year, obviously nursing as well. Brand new this year, we offer a fire science pathway in collaboration with our fire department. So we listen to what the community needs are, and we adapt to those needs. And we're very excited about that. We also offer more dual credit opportunities than anyone in our area. This year, we're offering over 40 dual credit classes that our students can take while they're in high school and earn college credit. Why else should we be excited? Well, as I mentioned, our commitment that our Board of Education has made, not just to our students, but also our staff. When I first came here in 2017, Franklin County Schools was ranked 90th in the state in teacher pay. We are the 22nd largest district. That had to change. So over a period of 8 years, through a series of pay increases, our teachers are now ranked 25th in the state in teacher pay. And we're very, very proud of that. That deserves applause. And again, that is due to the tireless efforts of our board, and thank you for that support. Speaking about growth, just a few of the highlights that we're building, either just finished or right now that we're building. We've just in the completion phase of 2 greenhouses, 1 on each side of town. We have 12 brand new tennis courts, 6 on each side of town. We are in the process of building 2 brand new auxiliary gyms that will provide a playing space for all of our sports, an indoor practice facility for things like wrestling, dance and cheer, even golf. That we will have a golf simulator in there. If anyone wants to sign up for time on that now, let me know and we can talk. And archery. And so we're very excited about that. We have 2 brand new grandstands at each one of our high schools. Each of our high school stadiums now seats over 3,000 people. What does that allow us to do? Host graduation. First thing when I got here, thank you. Yes. That deserves some applause. Look, when I first got here, the first thing they did was blow up the Civic Center. Welcome to the superintendency. You don't have a place to graduate later this year. Okay? Now we do, and we've had 3 wonderful graduations at our stadiums, and we're very proud of that. And speaking of new growth, we are getting ready to begin the construction. We're breaking ground in the spring of a brand new Elkhorn Elementary School that will set on the banks of the Elkhorn Creek. That Elkhorn Elementary School is going to be a school for 600 students, state-of-the-art in every way, and I can't wait to when we can do a ribbon cutting there. So we're very excited about that as well. The one thing I will say in kind of coming to a conclusion is one thing I've never really enjoyed is problem admiration. Sometimes, you know, when people just admire problems and they say, oh, this is a problem. Well, what are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about it? We are going to do everything we can as a school district to solve problems. One of the biggest problems that we have in our community right now is the lack of an indoor aquatic center, okay? And I'm tired of admiring that problem. So we are working collaboratively, and we're very, very hopeful that we're going to make some very good progress towards making sure that we have a place for our kids to swim. Right now, our swimmers get up at 5 in the morning and drive to either Shelbyville or Fallen Springs to swim. So we're not going to admire that problem anymore. We're going to do something about it. And if there's anyone in the room that has about $10 million laying around and wants to contribute to that, we would love that. That would be great. I'm looking right at you, Patricia. Right there. Get out that. Perfect. I love it. So to conclude, I just want to say thank you for all the support you provide for our students, our staff, and our families. We have a wonderful school district, and we're so proud to be part of this great community. Thank you so much.
Good job. Next up, we're going to bring Sherry Satterley. She's the superintendent of Frankfort Independent Schools. She's been in this position since July 2022. She came to us from Danville Independent Schools. We're proud to have her here.
I did not prepare a rap for today. Sorry. What you missed was my phone call for a 2-hour delay. So, yes. I come from a small independent district too. That was my home. It was where I worked for 18 years before I came to Frankfort Independent, and I never was out of school. So the idea that Frankfort Independent never closes is very near and dear to my heart. So when we do have to, and when it's bad enough to close, I try to make it as bearable as possible because I know how strongly we all want our students in school and how strongly you all want your students in school. Although I did talk to a parent earlier today who likes being out of school. So, but I'm going to give you just a little update on what's going on in Frankfort Independent, and there's a 10-minute timer because of me, I think. Yeah. So I did make myself some notes so that I don't just go off script a lot, Tish. Sorry. If you know me, I like to talk. So right now, as of yesterday, enrollment at Frankfort Independent, we have 949 students, up from 923 last year, 906 the year before, and 905 the year before that. So we are growing we are small, but we are mighty. And I see a lot of my parents in this room who I see a lot of head nods, would agree with that sentiment. We have 606 students right now in pre-K through 8th grade at 2nd Street School. We have 323 at Frankfort High. I'm told just a few years before I came we were down under 200, so that's a lot of growth. And we have 20 students in our transitional academy, and those are students who just have life situations that don't allow them to attend school full-time or need an alternate pathway, and we like to provide that for them so that they can graduate with their friends. And then our wraparound program, we have a wraparound program with our preschool where 19 of our students get wraparound preschool care all day long. So that's a phenomenal thing we offer. I'm going to talk a lot about finance. Anybody in the room knows I'm going to talk about this every time I get a microphone in my hand, because I would be remiss if I didn't, and I wouldn't be doing my district what I need to be doing as the superintendent if I didn't bring it up. So currently our budget is a little over $12 million, which isn't a huge budget. What's yours, Mark? 93 million. So Mark's budget is 93 million. Mine's a little over 12, between 12 and 13. We carry forward about 1.7 million, so we're spending well, and we're able to carry that much forward. We get around 4 million in SEEK dollars, but of course there's the threat right now of a $40 million shortfall in the SEEK, so we're a little concerned about that. And we keep a contingency of a little less than $1.5 million, which is well over the state minimum of 2% of your budget. We are able to keep a contingency of about 11%, so we're doing really well in that department. We also have some really wonderful donors to our district. Rich and Anne Marie Rosen donate to our district. The Sauer family donates to our district. We have a bathroom project going on right now. I'm glad to see Joe Hancock here getting the Resilience Award, because anytime I need extra parking, all I have to do is ask. Wonderful community partner of ours, helping us with this bathroom project. Lots of donors that help us just because they love Frankfort Independent. The big piece of that is that most districts get a lot of their revenue from property taxes. We do not. So if you look at the whole, property taxes in the old city, so we're not talking about the city of Frankfort, we're talking about our small footprint of a district, is almost, the revenue should be almost between $12 and $13 million. Of that $12 and $13 million, we get $2.9 million. It's a staggering difference from what is actually there. There is $7.9 million that is tax exempt. And thank goodness I have people who are now willing to go to bat for that to be a legislative change for our district. I think that deserves a round of applause. So, of percentages, just of the 100% of revenue that's in our district, we only get 26.97% of it. We don't even get half of what is there. And despite this, last year we were able to give a 5% raise for teachers, taking our starting teacher salary above $40,000, first time in history. Biggest raise in the history of Frankfort Independent Schools. We state-of-the-art technology in every classroom and in every student's hands. We really put money in security. We do not have an SRO, and I know that'll be a question that's written down, 5 minutes. But it's an unfunded mandate, and in our situation, we can't afford to fund unfunded mandates right now. If it were a funded mandate, we'd be having a different conversation. Resources for classrooms, we are able to provide those in our limited budget, even despite the tax exempt problem. Since my arrival, my board has added a third nickel tax to our building and facilities funds, taking our bonding capacity for facilities projects from 4.7 million to almost 13 million. So our next project will be a good one. We just finished a beautiful renovation on our auditorium at Frankfort High School. If you have not seen it, please reach out. I'm happy to show it to you. It was about a $2 million project, and we were able to fund that completely from leftover funds from the gym renovation and our building fund. We did not have to bond a single penny of that project. We are in a new central office location on 212 Steele Street. I can walk to both schools. Don't have to cross a bridge to get to the schools, and possibly going to expand that even further in the very near future. We are getting ready to sell Leathers Field, which will in turn be revenue for us, but will also be property tax revenue for our district that hasn't been there previously. I'm going fast, I'm sorry. In our district, some wonderful things that are occurring. We are focusing really big on kindergarten through third grade literacy right now, and knowledge building, reading through high quality instructional resources based on the science of reading and how the brain learns to read. For so many years, we've been teaching reading standards, but not necessarily teaching kids how to read based on how their brains work. So really focusing on that. Our performing arts are on the rise. We've got a beautiful new auditorium. We were able to have our annual Best Christmas Pageant ever in there in December. We have students for the first time since my arrival that have made all-state choir, all-state band, and attending honors performances at universities. Oh, let's see, I'm going to try to skip stuff. A huge partnership for us is with Kentucky State University with our dual credit partnership. We have over 150 dual credit enrollments right now at Frankfort High School. We have 15 students to graduate with an associate's degree from K-State this year before they ever graduate with a high school diploma. And more staggering than the 15 this year, we have 35 in the pipeline next year. So and right now we are funding it 100% for them. The district is paying for those courses, but we have been working with K-State to get that cost down a little bit. We've put a pretty precise pathway in place where we can utilize those work-ready and dual credit scholarships and possibly engage some donors or a donor in that to help us with that, because we want to continue to provide that for our students. We do not have a career and tech ed center, but we do provide culinary, early childhood, and business in Frankfort High School. And we also send students to the Trailblazer Academy in Mercer County. And if you saw it on social media yesterday, we had a second place winner at the Future Women of Welding competition this week. So it's pretty huge. And she's only a sophomore, and she competed at level 1, and she got second place as a woman welder, which is amazing to me. We provide a lot of mental health supports for our students. Those were necessary pre-COVID, but they're even more. I see that sign getting ready to get the 1 minute left sign. Even more important post-COVID, we have 2 guidance counselors at 2nd Street School, 1 at Frankfort High School, a licensed clinical social worker, a mental health counselor, and with our partnership with the Healthy Kids Clinic, we have a mental health therapist from them in both buildings as well, and 1 nurse practitioner and school nurses in both buildings. I only have 1 minute left, and I'm on my last page. As I close, I did want to say just thank you to the community for welcoming me and my family with open arms. I can't tell you what it's like to leave your home like that, but this has quickly become my home, and this has quickly become my place. My boys are thriving here. I have a board of education of 5 wonderful, strong female leaders who always want to do what's best for kids. And I just want to say that for Frankfort Independent to end, what you can always know is that is the first question we ask ourselves when we make a decision, is this what's best for kids? Thank you.
Thank you. I think it's good that we have speakers who talk a little longer, because that means they have so many good things to say, right? We don't want to cut them off. Lots of good things to talk about here in Frankfort. So our next speaker is our mayor. He has served as the mayor for 4 years, and he's just started his 2nd term this month. In case you didn't know it, also for 17 years. He's also a co-founder and managing partner of CTM Wealth Advisors. And let's welcome our mayor, Lane Wilkerson.
Thank you. It's great to see so many people in the same room at the same time, so many worlds colliding all at once. I have to thank Tish, Shade, and the Frankfort Area Chamber of Commerce for getting us all together. We have people from the private sector, the nonprofit sector, the faith organizations, and of course, government and schools to talk about all the good things going on in Frankfort. And for all of you that are here today, I think it's a testament to the potential that is what the city of Frankfort can be. Last year when I was here, I spoke about that we were at a tipping point and that we needed to make some investments in the future and that we were setting the stage for a transformation. And I'm here to tell you today that that transformation is happening. The groundwork we laid is paying off, and we're seeing the tangible results that proves that Frankfort is moving forward like never before. And I'm not just going to talk about new projects or investments today. I think it's something deeper. It's a renewed energy in our city, and it's a sense of belief of what Frankfort can be. Great things aren't just something far off in the future anymore. They're happening right now. I think it's time for our self-image to match this new reality, because Frankfort, we have flipped the script. No longer should we look at other surrounding communities and ask, why not us? Instead, we're asking, what's next for Frankfort? So today, I want to look back for a little bit. Last year, we were laying the foundation, and for starters, we had the largest private investment announced in our city's history. And I'm talking about the Paddocks development, which will feature Target and other national retailers. This is not only going to bring jobs to our community and economic opportunities, it's going to solidify Frankfort as a regional commercial hub. And this project would not have happened without the great work of the Kentucky Department of Transportation, Federal Highways, and the City of Frankfort's bold investment of over $7 million to help make sure that that comes to reality. Also in the private sector, we saw major changes in our lodging industry. We had 2 new boutique hotels open up in the fall. and also a change of ownership in the Capitol Plaza Hotel and planned renovation there. So that's going to support not only the tourist industry, but also the business industry as well, and that's going to put us in the market for more conventions. Speaking of, we did also, through our strong advocacy, secured over $11 million for a new convention center in Frankfort. And the General Assembly, we want to thank them for that. I don't know if, I didn't see any representatives. Oh, we have Representative Hancock here. Thank you for that. City of Frankfort matched that. We pledged $5 million toward the construction as well, and we hope to get that off the ground this year. There's RFP out right now, and proposals are due back in April, so stay tuned for that. And also, this is may have been a little overlooked, but we had the state, they announced a $6 million expansion in the capital city airport. Now, that may not mean a lot for some of us in here, but for those that are visiting Frankfort and the businesses that are looking at Frankfort, it's a major development that's going to make Frankfort in central Kentucky. It's going to help the entire region. We also opened the new transit center and parking structure, and this critical investment is going to make the refurbishment of the hotel happen. It's going to support a potential new convention center, and it's also going to bring new mixed-use development to the downtown area, establishing the neighborhood once again and bringing much-needed tax revenue not only to the city but to our school districts as well. And I feel like I'm piling on here. Is anybody getting a calculator out? Because we have a lot of investment happening. The City of Frankfort also was one of only 2 communities in the state last year to get a National Park Service Paul Bruin Rehabilitation Historic Preservation Revitalization Grant. This is $750,000. That, along with some state matching funds, it's going to be over $1 million that the City of Frankfort's going to help support private businesses, private landowners, nonprofits, churches even, to fix up properties in the historic districts and bring them, to their full use. A few years ago, the City of Frankfort had a similar program like this, and we put money into buildings like the Goodwood Brewery, where the House of Commons bar is now on the corner of St. Clair and Main. Also, where the Engine House Coffee is now, the Delegate Hotel. All of those projects received funding from the City of Frankfort. It was just a fraction, but still there was some help. Now we have over $1 million to put toward that, so stay tuned for more details on that. It's going to be exciting. Also, the City of Frankfort, along with our partners in the county, we took steps to strengthen the KCDC and their role in our community. And under new leadership, we've already seen a landmark partnership between the City of Frankfort, Franklin County, Anderson County, and the City of Lawrenceburg. Now, this is something that remains to be seen what's going to happen in this industrial authority that we have created, but you have to say it's pretty historic that all of these organizations came together to do something to grow our community. So with all those incredible wins under the way, it's time to look ahead. While 2024 was about laying the foundation, 2025 is about hitting the accelerator. First, before we can move on to some of the bigger projects, we do have to take care of some of the things that are hanging out there. And one is the Singing Bridge. Of course, people are going to ask about that. We are working with the state and the Department of Transportation to advocate for the rehabilitation of the bridge and to put that back in service as soon as safely possible. The state is testing the bridge right now. They hired a third-party contractor to do that. They expect the results of that to come by the end of this month. And once they digest that information, they're going to know what the options are in terms of what's possible and what the associated costs. So until they're able to do that, we won't know what the future holds, but just know that the City of Frankfort is advocating, and we've made it clear that that bridge is historically important and logistically important, and they've assured us that they know this. We also hope to break ground on the convention center this year. We have the RFP out right now, and once we know what the proposals look like, we'd like to get that fast-tracked because the state has put a deadline on the money that they've given us, and we want to make sure that that money does not go to waste. Working with the county and with the school districts, we are also quite aware that we need an indoor aquatic center and wellness center, and we meet regularly about this, and I think in the near future you're going to hear more about this. This is something that, as Superintendent Kopp said, we don't want to hear about other communities anymore. And again, instead of asking why not us, it's what's next. And this is something that is on the short list. Be assured of that. And the city of Frankfort is also committed to building more housing, or helping incentivize the building of more housing. And we can't have growth in this city unless we have a place for people to live. And people are being priced out of housing at all income levels. And last year, the city of Frankfort, we formed a affordable housing committee to help incentivize, and we are actively meeting with developers now. We have an RFI on the streets to encourage development, and we're doing what we can to spur that along. Also this year, I'd like to formalize our riverfront development plan. The city of Frankfort has acquired a couple of new properties on the waterfront, and we want to put that into public use and make it the showcase that it needs to be. Our river is one of our greatest assets, and we need to do more, because not only will that give us more recreational opportunities, it will also increase and boost our tourism industry. We're actively working with our congressional delegation. Thank you all very much. I know we have representatives from Comer's office and Senator McConnell here, and we're looking to secure funds to stabilize the riverbank so that we can make sizable investments with confidence. And lastly, I want to focus this year on modernizing our government operations and our revenue administration. We need to be able to do more with less and deliver our city services more efficiently, and also take measures to increase our revenues. There's a lot of opportunity out there that City of Frankfort has not tapped into, and we're making great strides in that. We hired a compliance attorney to help our staff get our fair share. So before I close, I would like to just say that I want to thank everybody for their time, trust. We have great partners here to work with. You make it enjoyable, and we're doing great things together. I want to thank the city staff and all of our partners here that make these successes possible. And we should all take this moment to celebrate not only what we've accomplished, but internalize this belief that Frankfort has its best days ahead of us. We have flipped the script, and just finish by saying this is the moment we've all been waiting for, and let's seize it.
I think it says something, the man I'm getting ready to introduce, and then our mayor, that we have two leaders in our community who have been business owners, are business owners. And as you know, the chamber, we appreciate that they have that knowledge and kind of that perspective when making decisions. So with that, I will introduce our next speaker, is Michael Muller. He's the Franklin County Judge Executive. He's been in that position since 2023. He previously served as the District 3 Magistrate on the Fiscal Court, and prior to his full-time role as County Judge, he was President of Inside Out Design for 16 years. Let's welcome Judge Michael Muller.
Okay, thank you very much, guys.
You have to stay
Do I have
here.
to stand here? I was gonna make David work a little bit. He doesn't want to move. I want everybody to move because everyone's just kind of sitting there. It's been a long little time. Before the time starts, who's seating time? I want to recognize a couple people that's in this room. Squire Sherry Sebastian, where is she at? Sherry, stand for me. Penny Peebler, our interim economic development specialist. Jailer Hopper and her staff. Deputy Jack Kennedy, Andrew Tippett, Reverend Whitlock, he didn't know I was going to call him, and Amy Snow with Wanda Joyce is doing incredible work in our community. So, okay, I guess time can start now. So, I don't know if they put me last, if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but we're going to go with it. So, I'm just going to kind of ramble on. I'm an open book. If I don't cover something that anybody in this room wants to hear about, feel free to call, set up an appointment. I'm easy to get a hold of. I'm proud to say that the Fiscal Court has funded a brand new road department. I appreciate Mr. Kopp speaking about a road department. They are the backbone of our county government and what we use every day. $6 million investment. They were working out of a facility that was from like 1958. And if OSHA were to come in there, they would close it down. So very proud with that. We've done some cool things. We now have a new community outreach coordinator. That was a partnership between ASAP and our county attorney's office. So they are kind of doing between work. When somebody gets in trouble, mostly drugs, things like that, they are making sure they get to where they need to be and doing what they're supposed to do so they don't end up back incarcerated. We have created SAP and SOAR program, which I want to give kudos to the jail for continuing that partnership. But I don't know how many people we have now. Tracy, how many? 80? What are we up to?
We're up to 27 as of today, and we have a list to go pick up 19 more females from Alfred.
Perfect. So for anybody who doesn't know, that's a female program. We're one of the only ones in the state that is doing that, but we're trying to get people back into the workforce. And that's a huge accomplishment, so thank you. Our opioid task force, I know Janet and some people are here today, and I'm actually going to Lexington after this with Charlie Kendall to meet with some things. We're looking at doing some regional projects, so that's very near and dear to our heart. We need to get a hold of this opioid problem we have. I want to talk again a little bit about Thornhill Partnership with NCFL. We are the leading in the country for National Center for Family Literacy. I don't get that right. So, but Thornhill is doing some amazing work with that, and so we should all be proud of that. We also went to private. I have a friend that's in the epoxy business, and he made the mistake of asking me about a year ago, what can I do to help you? And as the sheriff was taking the jail over before Jailer Hopper came in there, we knew we needed to fix the restrooms. Every year they failed because there was old tile and things like that. So this gentleman and his company donated $250,000 worth of work and manpower to fix that. So now in the jail, and I know the jail's not sexy, let's be honest, but we have to talk about it. We're trying to take a negative and make it a positive, but it's beautiful, as beautiful as the jail could be. But also, I asked Shane Smith, who's with the jail, all these people in our communities, and some of the people in this room use people from the jail every week. Males and females are coming out, senior center and other places like that. So Shane got me some statistics. Basically, every week we have 50 inmates that are in our community helping out. And I asked him to say, what is that worth to us? It's about $30,000 a week, which equates to about $1.5 million a year of basically free labor that's helping a lot of our community organizations. So extremely, extremely proud of that. Our team, so I'll talk a little bit about our team. We have a lot of new faces, new grant writers. I mean, if you come down to the fiscal court, we're renovating offices, we're trying to make the flow better. This is kind of business mentality, things need to flow well. But we have a lot of new faces, but we have excitement, which I don't think has really been seen before in county government. You know, it's a big family, but everybody's happy to be there. I mean, they get each other Christmas gifts and birthday gifts, and they bake cakes. It's kind of crazy, to tell you the truth. We had a party last week, and they all start singing happy birthday to each other. So things like that are cool to be part of. Our services online, that has made a huge difference for our planning and zoning. We have an amazing planning and zoning staff. It's big, you know. We have 2 electrical inspectors, 2 building inspectors, and one of them, the fiscal court was gracious enough to grant that he can do hazardous now. So we're one of the only counties in the state that can do bourbon warehouses and high hazard things, which is very, very nice. I'm proud to say the fiscal court has supported our employees true and true. I think over the last 2 years, we've given 7% raises, plus we've taken the opportunity to look at each individual department and do compensating rates. So our county government employees are where they should be, which hasn't been for a long, long time. So we should all be proud of that. I thank the Franklin County Fiscal Court also. So let's talk about the building. You know, I keep hearing people say, you know, nothing's happened in this town. You know, and I think everyone's touched on a little bit here. Kind of tired about hearing it. So I had planning and zoning pull some things, and I do have a handout, but I didn't make copies because I'm cheap. But there's a huge thing here. I'm going to send to Tish, and this is all about our planning and zoning. It goes on like, for instance, we have 100 more business licenses this 24 compared to 23. So I asked them to look at building residents, you know, townhomes, condos, houses, things like that. We were averaging 50 a year prior to this administration. We have 856 on the books right now. So that's very good because we all know we need all types of housing. This year we had an amazing announcement just a month ago, or this month really, NITO. NITO is the first big announcement since 2010 for job creations in Franklin County, and we should all be proud of that. 225 jobs. The mayor touched on the hotels in downtown. We also have, I don't know how many, 3 hotels being built out in the county also. But I think what people need to realize is we have the opportunity to hold tourism here. If you look at Bardstown, it's great, it's cool, but there's nowhere to stay. Everybody stays in Louisville. So as we talk to Anderson County and Woodford County, they have a lot of cool things going on too. Woodford just got that new $92 million distillery there at the castle, but they don't have a lot of housing and a lot of hotels. Frankfort and Franklin County have the opportunity to hold tourism. We can do our own regionalization thing right here, and I think everyone's seeing it downtown. When you walk or drive downtown, we should know everybody. I can drive and I won't know a soul. It is amazing. It's weird, but it is cool. So I'm lucky I numbered these, you know. I had a conversation with my kids last night, to use cards or not to use cards. They didn't think it's cool, but there's no way I'm going to keep my head together. Lakeview Park, so I know that's a big talk. I've talked about it for 3 years. We are right there. We are on the cuff. We have things that came in, bids came in. I was in our general contractor's office yesterday negotiating. I am hopeful that we can pull things together and launch the softball complex that we have talked about. That one facility alone, just the softball complex, in the first year will put $12 million of economic development into our community. So that's between the restaurants, the hotels, the shops. So that's some pretty big numbers, and hopefully everybody will be as excited as I am about that. I think everybody's touched a little bit on the aquatic center. We all know we need it. We all are working together. And I will say that it's nice, as I go to a lot of the conferences and things like that, it's amazing how many communities are fighting each other. There's cities suing counties, there's counties suing cities. It's unbelievable. I mean, I know of one, the gentleman called me last week, his fiscal court is suing him, and he's suing the fiscal court. I mean, how in the world could you get anything done? So I am very appreciative to everybody that's up here that we can sit down, have an adult conversation, and really try to do what's best for our community. As we move forward, broadband's a big thing in the county. We know that. I know Holly Spade is here with AT&T. There's some companies that are looking at Franklin County. We have about 1,100 homes that are still unserved. It is a priority. I believe the application process is out there now. It is due March 15th, so we are hopeful a company will choose us to work with, and we can finish the broadband initiative. And I know the plant board has been working very hard on the 883 homes. So that's all positive. I do want to thank also, I know Senator McConnell and Congressman Comer's field staff is here. They have been very supportive of Franklin County and our, 1 minute, really? And our local support too. We were awarded last year $2.8 million for a sewer project down at the Forks of the Elkhorn. We all know how important the Elkhorn Creek is to us. We're trying to clean that up, so that's RFP should be going out soon for that. And I'm going to touch on Farmdale. Farmdale has been going on almost 20 years. There's 1,200 homes in Farmdale. Some of them, I'm not even going to describe what's going on out there, but basically we have package plants. Oh, okay. Package plants that aren't working anymore, but we had a meeting last year. We called everybody together. They said we didn't realize how bad it was. So we were able to put the funds together, and I'm very appreciative of that board, but we are working on RFPs to do phase 1, which is $14.75 million, that will fix and get rid of all those package plants and get sewers out there to the people that deserve it. That's a huge, huge win for us. I got a couple more things, you know, just get me in trouble. We are working on an RFP with the court. We have 2 acres on Home Street that we are also looking to potentially put a clinic and some affordable housing down there. We are looking at creating a new park. Park systems are very important to this court. So we have that land at Duckers. We're hopefully going to get going on that. We're also looking for soccer fields in the county, because we know kids need to play soccer. But big focus on life, quality of life is what we're working on right now. Okay, I'm gonna circle back, I'm almost done, I promise. I'm gonna circle back to Lakeview Park because I wanna give everybody a little bit of homework if you think about this. When is the last time a plan was done and we see it through? Frankfort is notorious for getting plans, spending a lot of money on plans, and then putting them on shelves. So I'm proud of the fiscal court that we're gonna actually move on this. And we're gonna get it done and do what we say we were gonna do. So that's exciting, and I'm very appreciative to be here today. This is my favorite event of the year, and like these fine people up here said, Frankfort is on the move, and I appreciate everybody in this room for being part of the team.
Thank you. I'll just have to give a plug that some plans that went through was for FPV was the completion of our reservoir. So we do have the new reservoir at Tanglewood. We're very excited about it. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's by the clubhouse. So anyway, we have one more speaker. How are we doing out there? Everybody good? We're getting ready to get to the good part where you all get to ask the questions. And from what I've seen so far, Judge Mueller might be in the hot seat. So I'm going to bring up Tish, who is the president and CEO of the Frankfort Area Chamber of Commerce. She's been in this role since 2021. She's worked in the chamber industry for more than 12 years and in business development for over 25. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. So I know everybody thinks it's funny, and next year I'm telling you, I'm going to have a videographer, and we're going to blooper the reels of your time clock, because that's the funniest thing. They all knew they had 10 minutes. They all knew their time was coming, and yet they still act up. I mean, some of them just act up.
They came to hear the good words.
I know, they did.
Next to 30 seconds.
We're going to have to take Kathy's mic too. So I just want to thank you all for coming. I know we're getting late in the hour, so if you are one of my board members, please stand up. We can't do what we do without these people. Stay standing. Stay standing. If you are an ambassador of the chamber, stand up. If you sit on any committee with the chamber, please stand up. I just want to thank everybody because we can't do what we do. We have a staff of 2, and I want to introduce you to Janice Purvis and Shauna Smith. They are my team. They both come in September and October, or August and September. They're very new. They've jumped right in. They're going to walk around, so if you guys are writing down your questions that you have, hold your paper up. I've got 4 ladies up here that are going to come get them for you to bring them back to Kathy to give them to our speakers, and we'll ask those questions. But I want to tell you this, if you're not looking, Michael and I just talked about this a while ago. In Frankfort and Franklin County, we are growing, and if you're not looking, then you're not paying attention, because every one of us sat up here and told you how much we're growing. This is what we do for the State of the Community. It is one of my favorite events. We kick off our year to start our year off on the good things that are happening in Frankfort and Franklin County, and you've heard all of them. You've heard them from the horse's mouth, and now you get the chance to ask questions. 3 years ago, we had 112 people at this event. Last year, we had 133. This year we had 201 registered. So I'm pretty excited about that. Lots of different things going on with the chamber. We're changing up some of our events to make them a little bit more exciting and enticing to get you in there. If you have questions about the chamber, please let us know. We are here to serve you, and we are honored to have our partners up here. We've got Susie out there from DFI. We've got Robin. Who else is our community partners that are here and have an ex officio spot on my board? Sonia Sanders from KSU. All of our community partners we go to, and we couldn't do things together without them, because our community is just so inviting that when we get with our partners, we want to celebrate them. So we want to tell you, we've got some more over here, ladies. If you have those papers, hold them up, because we're going to come get them. But I'm going to bring Kathy back up here so we can start asking some questions. But I just want to thank you all for taking time out of your morning. I know this has kind of been long, but this, I mean, where else in town can you get everybody up here and ask questions and tell them what's going on than here? So we appreciate you guys. Thank you for coming.
Yep. Thank you. All right, now we're getting to the good stuff. Any more? We're putting them all in the hot seat. Okay. All right. Some stuff has already been covered, but we might just want to check in. Okay, this one is for Dr. Acuppo. What are you doing to improve employee morale at KSU?
That's a good question. Well, can you hear me? You know, when I came here 20 months ago, we faced a very difficult situation. You all have read in the news and state journal everywhere. We were at $23 million in the hole. So the first year, all I did was to dig us out of the hole. And now we have to rebuild. The enrollment is coming in, but it's not where it needs to be for us to break even. So we still have a way to go. And we're trying to do everything we can. We had, based on what staff told me themselves, the best Employee Appreciation Day last December, and the room was full. So we're trying everything we can, small steps. You know, it's all about raises. Everybody talks about giving employees the highest raise possible. I understand KSU has not had the opportunity for the last 5 years. So it is my intent to make sure we get back to that quickly. We have to tread carefully because of where we come from. And you heard me say, talk about the dorms. The needs is just unbelievable. We're trying everything we can in small steps to allow employees to also feel appreciated. I brought with me, when I came, birthday wheel spinning where you can win prizes, including having lunch with the president. So we have come up with some small steps that we're trying to put in place to help the morale. It's been difficult. Folks who have stuck with the university, I always tell them, I'm so grateful to them. Because I would not have stayed if I were here during those times. But they stayed and they believe in the institution. Our best days are ahead. It takes patience because of what we faced. As I speak to you, I will just give one quick example. I came here and the university has not done annual financial audit for the university for 3 years. And everybody was quiet until my arrival, and everybody wanted it yesterday. So that us not getting those done put us in a very difficult situation. Our indirect recovery rate for grants, when you take Kentucky State University, we are the third university in the state in terms of grant dollars brought to Kentucky. But we're not getting our indirect rate to the fullest, because we have not done the audits. For you to renegotiate the rates, you have to have your current audit in place. So last year, we were supposed to get 1.3 million, but we only got 700,000 because the rate have not been renegotiated. Over the last 12 months, we brought in additional $22 million in grant, which will help us even increase the rates. But we cannot do it because the audits are not done. And I have never been in a place where the audit has taken this long. We were able to get 21 done, 22 done, 23 has been a nightmare. Because people who were here before me spend money, did things that we can't find the record. We can't reconcile things. So it's taking forever, but we're doing the best we can to make sure we get back with employees.
Thank you.
For reminding me.
Thank you very much. All right, this next one is for the mayor and for the county judge. After many decades of having a domestic violence shelter and a women's shelter, both closed in 2024, what is our community doing to open a 24-hour emergency shelter for single adult females? Anyone?
On this one, we have to rely on our nonprofit partners. So we do provide subsidies to the nonprofits in the community. And if the question is, what's the city government doing? I guess we're happy to do more if that's what's expected of us. And if not, we'd like for the community to come to us with a proposal on what you need to operate a 24/7 shelter. We did work with the county a couple of years ago and provided several $100,000 to an overnight shelter, no barrier shelter, and for whatever reason it wasn't sustainable. But we are, of course, willing to do what we can to open up a shelter for single women specifically, but we're going to need some help.
Okay. A project is being done to provide municipal sewer service to the Forks of Elkhorn through Kentucky grant secured by our fiscal court. What is the timeline for this project, and will current property owners be required by law to connect into this system if they have a current septic system?
Great question.
It's a great question.
Before I forget, we are starting a new Boys and Girls Club in Frankfort. There's a little loophole here. I got a little bit more time. And also one thing I want to say is that the Franklin County Fiscal Court, for the first time ever, has invested our rainy day fund. And last year, we made $1 million in profit on our money. Okay, so the question,
Yes.
Forks of Elkhorn, yes, great project. We have HMB, our county engineers, working on that. They're currently working on RFPs. I believe we have all the money secured. I think, Hank Hancock, Joe's uncle, worked on that for about 20 years. He was really wanting to see that clean the creek up. We are very, very close to the project. I think the way it's set up, everybody wants to hook onto it that we've talked to. I know we're working with Eddie Duvall, who has the trailer park there, and they're going to do water lines and sewers down there. And we have a new owner of the campground, which is one of the top 10 campgrounds in the state of Kentucky. And he was very, he's actually put some private money towards it. So yes, that project will happen, and hopefully it will be announced this spring.
Okay. For the superintendents, what efforts are being used to combat drugs within the schools? Michael, microphone.
So, see, he still doesn't want to give it up.
Okay, who's up?
I'm gonna go first. I would say that, and I can't speak for Mark, but in our buildings, drugs are, if they're coming in veiled by vapes. So we are trying to tackle the vape issue more than anything because they have the THC in them, they have the Delta 8, they have those things in them. And vaping, I don't know about you, but it's a really big issue for us right now. We are in the process of partnering with the Franklin County Health Department to get a grant to provide a cessation program for students who are caught with those in our buildings. We also have installed vape sensors everywhere that we can up to this point and are continuing to, yes, vape sensors. And I get an email when one of them goes off.
Wow.
And so we're still looking at installing those in multiple different places because we cannot, with 150 employees and 960 students, we can't keep our eyes on all 960 at one time. Now, it's a bigger issue in the upper grades, but we can't go with them to the bathroom and things like that. So those are the places that we need those extra precautions in place.
Ditto on a lot of that in terms of the vape sensors. When they first brought us the idea that they have these things that can detect vapes, I thought it was a joke that they were selling us some kind of invisible technology and we were just going to have to pay for it. But it's true, it works, it's great. And working with the Sheriff's Department, with the school resource officers, we have and some additional eyes to help us with monitoring. And we have artificial eyes, meaning that we have camera systems in all of our buildings and widespread. So, the monitoring is honestly the easiest part. The most difficult part is getting to the root of the issue, and that's at the community level, and that's where we need assistance. We need to be able to partner with you all, with our nonprofits, to continue to do everything we can to get drugs off of the streets before they come into schools.
Okay. The next one is for the mayor, and there's two. I'm going to kind of mix them together. When is the expected time frame for the Riverwalk project to get underway, and will it also be a mixed district? And then another question that maybe blend into that, what is the status of Blanton's Landing?
Okay, first, I didn't say this earlier, but talking about looking forward to 2025, I do have to acknowledge we have a new commission, and I'm excited to work with them. And a few of them are here today, Commissioner Rob Richardson, Katina Smith-Willis and Lisa Unger. Kelly May could not be here today, but we've already had a couple of meetings under our belts, and I think it's a good chemistry, and we're going to accomplish some great things. As far as the Riverwalk, Bland's Landing, kind of the same thing. I mentioned earlier, one of the first steps before we can do anything to develop the riverfront is to make sure that the riverbank is stabilized because of the way the Kentucky River floods. It rips the riverbank. We saw a mini landslide there a couple of years ago, and so we are working. We have an earmark request in, and it's in an appropriations bill. It's my understanding now that will provide much needed funds to do that work at Blanton's Landing and at Riverview Park. And once we get those funds, we can get that. That's the foundation. Once that happens, then you'll see some of those plans come to fruition.
Okay, thank you. This one's for the judge. Work, and you kind of talked about this a little bit, but let me go on. Work has or is about to begin on phase 1 of the Lakeview Park project. Eventually, the plan includes a multi-use facility, a facility that does not include an indoor pool. The proposed plan has an original price tag of over $60 million. The new Franklin County Sports Commission and its ability to collect the transient room tax was presented to the public via the fiscal court as a way to fund the project. Where the transient room tax for Franklin County in 2024 collected an estimated $295,000, where is the additional funding for this project coming from?
Whoever wrote that, I'd love to come talk to me because that's a lot of information. So a lot of good stuff there. So I think as you all heard, when we did the master plan, the pool was never going to be on that facility. There's a lot of karst land there. That's why the golf course is actually there because it's cave system under there. So, but we are working on a different site for the indoor aquatic center. The Sports Commission, there's been a lot of talk about that. It's not set up to fund the building of these things. The fiscal court is going to fund the building of this facility. So first phase, we're right around $14 million for the softball complex. So between rainy day fund money, between bond money, between some ARPA funds that we have left over, that's how we're paying for this first phase. The money from the transient room tax is at 3%, which will be about $600,000 in the first year from what we collect now for some other organizations. That's going to fund like the marketing of sports, and it's going to fund a management company to independently run and bring the tournament people here. So I think that's the big component. I think a lot of times that places fail, and this isn't against any person that's on staff or anything, is, you know, kind of like the convention center. You know, the state was running it, but, you know, it didn't go as well as it should. So the thought is that we create this organization, we bring a third party in that has a business mentality, and they're going to run concessions, they're going to bring the teams in here, they're going to book the hotels, and so basically that's how it's going to work.
Okay.
Did I miss any of that question? There's a couple other things.
There was a lot. I'm sure the person who wrote that might come to you after.
That'd be great.
Okay, but I have a follow-up. Don't go anywhere. With the formation of the Franklin County Sports Commission and separating the tourism organization, what funding will you provide to the Frankfort Tourism Office to keep them whole?
That's a great question too. So we are in conversation. You know, we've been working. You know, with the city has been working with the attorney that we hired to help structure this. It's not new. It's happening across the state, and actually, it's a good thing. You know, it means our community is growing. So basically, we're going to have two organizations that overlap. You know, the one would be marketing our community, city and county, and Robin. I think that Robin's right there. She does a great job. She will continue to do that. And then the Sports Commission will basically do the same thing with sports. We've talked to the city about using some of their fields. The more fields we have available, the bigger tournaments we can bring that will help everybody.
Okay.
I don't think that was a question. What was the question?
How are you going to fund the Tourism Commission, Tourism
And
Office?
so
to keep them
we're
whole?
still in talks now. We're trying to figure out what we give them now, how long it's going to take to build first phase, because once that money really starts coming into the community, I mean, in all seriousness, and I'm just not up for blowing smoke, we are getting ready to take off. The city and county, if you look around at the shops that are downtown, all the construction that's going on, spring gets here, there's going to be a lot of bulldozers moving. This town is getting ready to move, and it's all going to take care of itself. And I know that's kind of a leap of faith, but it's all good.
Okay, this is for our educators.
how would you recommend a way for elected officials to show up for the students in each of your schools?
Come in our schools. Come in our schools. We really appreciate the collaboration at all times. And we would love to see you come and experience what our kids get to experience every day. A lot of times in public education, Sherry and I were talking about this earlier, it would be amazing in our jobs if we could simply go to work and only have to focus on student achievement. But so much of what we do is fighting for our kids. I'll give you an example from today that Sherry and I are up here kind of talking about. The federal government today announced, and Michael mentioned it this morning, the pause of all federal dollars to all federal grant programs today at 5 o'clock, I think. What does that mean for us? It means every one of our title funded positions and all of the great things that we do for our students in the areas of reading and math and special education, all of those title funded positions, the funding stops today at 5 o'clock. Well, welcome to the job. This is why, this is why these jobs are challenging. Having said that, our elected officials, come in our schools. Our kids would love to see you and would love to work with you.
I guess I'm supposed to stand up because everybody else is standing up. I would second come in our schools, and not just our local elected officials, but our state officials too, with the current state of public education and the way it is treated right now. I would implore those people that are making those decisions for us, like the pause on federal grants, which is $300,000 and pays for 5 teachers in my district. Title I does. I would implore you to come see what we are what we do every day, and what our teachers do every day, and what our kids experience every day, and what our needs are. Specifically in our district, facility needs. We have beautiful, beautiful, beautiful old buildings, but we have needs that need to be met, and taking those federal dollars away is just one example of a decision being made by people who maybe haven't stepped foot in a public school for quite some time. So we're happy to have you at any time. We are actually hosting a legislative breakfast on February 6th for the Ohio Valley Educational Cooperative. So if there are any elected officials, local officials in the room that would like to come to that, please reach out to me and we'll get you in our buildings. Thank you.
I don't want to repeat everything. 2 words, show up.
There you go. Like that answer. Okay, this one is for the judge and the mayor. They want to know what is being done about the homeless issue here in Frankfort and Franklin County, and is there a count for 2024 of the homeless count?
I'll speak. I don't know a lot of it. It seems like a lot of the homeless are in the city. We do have conversations about it. I know there's a working group that's working on this. I know during the frigid cold, we were in constant communication with our emergency management to make sure that everybody was taken care of. And at that time, they were. We didn't. I think anybody who came forward and needed a place, they put them up for the night. I don't know if it's as bad as people think, but that's not my specialty. But we're willing to help with whatever we can. I know we're trying to get some programs. And I will say, so last week we had an opioid task force, and a guy from the state with Bluegrass Ad came, and we had Janet and Charlie and some school counselors and people there. And when we all got done presenting, he sat back and he said, I'm going to tell you this right now. He said, Frankfort and Franklin County has the best wraparound services, and you're trying to get people back into the community and back on their feet than anywhere in the state. And this guy has worked in this for his career in this state. And so I think everybody who's working on all these things should just have a pat on your back, because it made somebody like me who's not doing a lot. I coordinate meetings, I'm there, I offer assistance, but I'm not the one doing the work, and these people are. But I thought it was a huge shout out to all these organizations in our community that we have that are going above and beyond. And like I said, we're setting the trend for the entire state. So I'm going to hand it to the mayor.
As far as the city, well, first I should say that everything's in the county. The city is 100% in the county, so.
Here we go. In this matter time, Wade.
But I will say that the city of Frankfort, we took steps a couple of years ago to create the CARES Coalition, and that is an opportunity for all of the nonprofits to get together and pool their resources. And the idea is that by doing so, we'd be able to leverage and apply for larger grants and bigger opportunities to help fund these shelters and all the wraparound services. The city is also very interested, like I mentioned before, affordable housing. We need to build more units. We know that that will take care of a lot of the problem. It won't take care of all of the problem, but it will take care of a lot of the problem. I serve on the Housing Authority of Frankfort. We also have some capacity to build more units, and we're working closely with the city and their efforts and our efforts to build affordable housing. We're looking at also building units for the Housing Authority of Frankfort. That will go a long way. As the judge mentioned, we do have a compassionate community, and we have a lot of great services here, and that we attract from the surrounding counties. It's no secret that, well, at least I talked to one of the executive directors of the shelter last year, and they did a count on the number of people that they housed overnight, and it was over 60%, maybe closer to 65% were not from Franklin County. Now, that's nothing wrong with that, but that's what we have to acknowledge. We are shouldering the burden from some of our surrounding community. We just have to take that and do something with it. And the City of Frankfort is doing what we can to build more units and support the CARES Coalition and all of our nonprofit partners.
I want to jump in on that real quick, just to mention what a huge issue this is for not just the community at large, but specifically for students. We had a really excellent presentation at our last board meeting. Do you all have any idea how many students in Franklin County schools are classified as homeless as of this moment? 145. Imagine that for a second. 145 of our 6,500 students meet the federal classification for homelessness. So this is a problem that we all need to come together and do everything we can to assist these kids. Sometimes the only warm food that they get are the meals that we provide them for breakfast and lunch every day. So always keep that in mind. It's all about these kids.
Okay, and I think that addressed, we had another question about what is being done to solve the housing crisis and how long will it take? Do you feel like that was addressed, Mayor?
Probably. How long will it take? I don't know. This is a nationwide problem. No matter where you go, no matter what other mayor I talk to, everybody's dealing with this. This is not just a situation that's local to Frankfort. It's systemic to the United States, really the world. So we need people to build more houses.
Okay. We have two more questions, and lucky you, Mayor, you get them. What organization, if any, have you contacted regarding the state of race and race relations in Frankfort or Franklin County?
Well, I participated in the Franklin County Ministerial Association Martin Luther King celebration on Sunday night, and as we do every year, and also participated in the Focus on Race Relations event in the fall. As far as, I'm happy to support any organization that wants to help everyone in our community. My position, my goal is that everybody in our community needs the opportunity to thrive and to prosper, and that's what we're about, is making sure everyone has an equal opportunity.
Okay. And then last, I think you touched on this when you spoke, but just what, as far as plans for the Home Street project?
I didn't talk about it.
Oh, you didn't?
No,
Okay, well, I can't believe you didn't.
No, I'm talking about historic state and federal funding.
Yeah.
How could I forget the Home Street project? Not only did last year we received over $20 million allocation from the Federal Department of Transportation for accessibility and equity grant. And that is to take care of phase one of Home Street, which is really, it's not just repaving the street, it's a reconstruction of the street. It's landscaping, it's streetscaping, it's widening sidewalks, putting in sidewalks, it's burying power lines, all the utilities, big deal. When we followed that up this year, we found out, because it was only phase one, which is going to take us most of the way down Home Street, but not all of it, not all the way to the Thornhill bypass. But we went back and applied for another grant, and we just found out 2 weeks ago that we received those funds as well, over $8 million. And that also unlocked state funds, matching funds of over $7 million. When we total all that up, it's going to be and sewer investment of over $7 million. This is a $43 million project to remake Home Street, really, and High Street from Main Street all the way to the Thornhill bypass. So what we found is public investment. Once that happens, private investment, private home values, property values should rise. I think this is something that's going to help an often overlooked area of our town.
Okay, well, that brings us to a close. On behalf of the Government Affairs Committee and the Frankfort Area Chamber of Commerce, thank you all for coming, taking your time, answering these questions. Thank you for showing up, because that shows that you're engaged, and I think we have a lot of great things to look forward to. Thank you. And if you're on the Chamber Board, we're getting ready to have a meeting.